Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's video. Why don't you grab a seat and join me around the virtual campfire here at Wingman Wisdom. Today, we're going to continue my conversation with Kevin Frazer from Cheyenne Camping Center. Kevin is so smart, and he took a lot of his time out to visit with me about information that I think is important for us to know as consumers. What does the future of the RV industry look like? What does it look like for you and me? And what does it look like for RV dealers? Let's jump into that interview with Kevin right now.
On the new side, you don't really have distress selling by dealers that have gone broke or are entering a form of bankruptcy because you got what are called repurchase agreements. The banks are aware that this is a dangerous proposition. If the dealer goes broke, the banks that are making the floor plan lending for the new RVs don't want to imagine a circumstance where you have to sell new RVs for pennies on the dollar, or the dealer has to sell them on pennies on the dollar. They don't want any part of that. So if a dealer is out of trust, which means they're going bankrupt, or they violate any of their other covenants, that triggers what's called a repurchase agreement. In a repurchase agreement, the manufacturer of those goods buys them back at invoice and then remarkets them to us other dealers that aren't in a bad way. And will there be discounts? Yes, but they won't fall off the cliff. There won't be pennies on the dollar stuff. Now, pennies on the dollar stuff, because they'll be needing cash for other operations, or they're in bankruptcy, that could happen to your used ones. Don't do whatever you want, but it's really dangerous to buy something from a dealer that is in fiscal trouble or bankrupt, because you can have tangles with the titles. Remember that if they're under a repurchase agreement, which every dealer that has a floor plan is, that title actually belongs to the manufacturer in the event of a default. So if you bought an RV from a dealer that was a new RV that had never been paid for except with a floor plan note, that means there's a fight about who owns the RV. You want to be careful about ever buying anything from a dealer that's in trouble or is known publicly to be bankrupt. Now, that's also true on the used side. And on the used side, there's so many things going on. Make sure if you buy a used one from a dealer, make sure you get the title when you hand over the money. And
I got to ask you that 4 months ago, I was seeing Camping World. You know, you cannot not see them when they run commercials every commercial break. But 4 months ago, they were trying to get the first time RV buyer. They've changed that, and now it's all used. We're the largest used RV dealer in the nation. I can't figure it out. Why would they do that? Why would they get the used RV market instead of the new market?
Because the intrinsic proposition with the used one, this is the only used one like this in the world. And for a while, especially in 2021 and especially in 2021, those big dealers like Camping World were selling used RVs for prices similar to the MSRP on new RVs when you know nobody pays MSRP. And how were they able to get away with it? Because there were people in the market that had never been in the market, and there was no way to compare a used one to something else. If Camping World's trying to sell a new RV to somebody, they can get online and look at other possible sellers like us and find out what it's really worth. But not everybody sells their used RVs like we do at auction on eBay. Mostly over the last 2.5 years, they were husbanding them and fetching huge, stupid money for them. So Camping World was out buying used RVs so that they could sell them to unknowing customers for prices that were off the charts. The market collapsed, and it collapsed a long time ago, but people haven't started talking about it until like April of this year. But when it collapsed, it started down in a serious way a whole year ago. But Camping World and the other chains apparently didn't get the memo, and they kept buying and buying and buying, and now they've just got thousands of units that they're underwater on. Now, you see an ad for Camping World right now. Come in, make us an offer. It's like an auction. Whatever you offer, no, they don't. They're using that to negotiate. Again, they're not competing with anybody but themselves.
But how does somebody get financing on a used RV? Because the lenders right now are getting very nervous, as you said. And,
well, the lenders were, until now, relying entirely on that book value that proved
JD Power.
That's proved to be so fraudulent, so unfounded, unsupported. Now you're right. Now lenders are very suspect.
So buyers are having a difficult time and even qualifying for a loan on some of these used RVs. Where I'm going with this, Kevin, is it seems to me that unless these people like Camping World or these big dealers that have got a huge inventory of used RVs, unless they get real with the price, we are entering winter time, which is traditionally not the best time to be selling RVs, especially used RVs. They're going to have to do something. I mean, or they have to keep making the payments on their floor plan to carry all that used inventory until next spring when it's going to be worth even less.
Well, when it comes to floor plan, used RVs are not generally on anybody's floor plan. Camping World
if they bought it, though, if Camping World bought it,
claims in their filings that they own their used inventory unencumbered by floor plan. Now, they did borrow with borrowed money because they owe Goldman Sachs, well, not Goldman, but they owe a lot of money to the people that bought their debt through Goldman Sachs. And that those are all variable rates. So their cost of carrying that inventory is doubled. When they're painting themselves into this corner, I was just shaking my head wondering what the hell they were going to do when it came to this point. Are they going to be able to slip this? Right now, they're playing the game that make us an offer, we'll take anything, but they're not doing that. And you say, but their lenders aren't going to loan money on it because they've been burned. Yeah, they've been burned now. So what they're doing is saying, well, make your best offer and then go see your credit union, which doesn't know what's actually going on.
You know what? None of what Kevin said really surprises me. Does it surprise you? Now, I'm going to give my opinion on something. This is my opinion, not necessarily that opinion of Cheyenne Camping Center or anybody that I do consulting work with. But I believe we're coming close to a time. In fact, we're already seeing a time when many, many, many sellers are finding out just how underwater they are, just how badly the dealer buried them. My question, whose fault is that? Is that the dealer's fault for burying them? Or is it the consumer's fault? Do they have some responsibility to not be buried? Let me know what you think. Choosing the right dealer is paramount, folks. It's every bit as important, maybe more so than the brand of RV that you end up buying. Now, next time, Kevin Frazer is going to tell me about a time years ago when he was thinking that just maybe, he was ripping people off. Stick around. Again, if you have a question or a comment for Kevin Frazer, drop it down below, or you can click the word more. My information will drop down. You can call me on my cell phone, leave me a voicemail if I don't pick up. You can shoot me a private email. I promise I will put your questions, comments on my list of things to talk with Kevin about the next time we get together. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share this video on social media with your family and friends. Folks who enjoy camping and RVing, I believe this information is very important to get out there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.